Hello and welcome to the Freedom of the Night, the Freedom from the Night, Tales of the Supernatural. We are we're getting into the subject about the dinosaurs and what they represent as of today. I know I said I was going to do a video about that, a couple of videos ago, and also throughout times ago, I've been wanting to say things about this subject. So today I am doing it. And again, as I grow, I will go back over these subjects again to upgrade them. And I got some candy in my mouth. And I don't really do candy, but I'm doing I'm that's what I got in my mouth, some candy. So the subject today is about dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, yes. They still exist. Mm-hmm. Yes, they do still exist. They still exist. Yes, they do. So let me get off into this. And as you know, if I'm looking down, I am reading off my notes because that's what I do. Okay. I don't care about nobody else, but I read my notes. I ain't trying to act like I know it all by head. I ain't trying to hold all that in my head. Sorry. I have to read my notes. Okay. And that's the way I'm doing that. Okay. I ain't write all these notes for nothing. No, I did this for a good reason. And also, don't forget, I am your queen, the host of this channel. And welcome to my channel, everyone. This channel is the power the not the power, but we get off into the power of God over here and how that whole thing works. Okay, we touch on all that about the power of God. Um, this is my channel. I am your queen, Shantae Washington, and this is Freedom from the Night, Tales of the Supernatural, and where all is welcome from baby to child to man to woman, and you're welcome to listen in and hear what I got to say about the subject of the matter. You don't have to agree with it, but all I know is this is the stuff that I've been through myself, even from birth. I remember everything that was supposed to be remembered, okay, even from birth. Some people may have deja vu in the moments that they have with Jesus standing in those spots, okay, because it's really not deja vu. It's Jesus, okay. In that moment when you feel like it, you feel deja vu, but deja vu is just Jesus. It's Jesus touching your heart right now. Either he's convicting you by making a judgment, you're feeling it all of a sudden, and then it brings you back to a moment in your life, and it's to grow you at that time. So at that time, you are to pray. Okay, you are to pray for your surroundings, pray for others. It's that time because Jesus is near. It's time to get down and pray at that time. If you have a deja vu moment, I'm telling you as your teacher, as I'm teaching you, your teacher is Jesus. His kingdom comes and his will shall be done on earth as it is in heaven, okay? Yes, it shall. So, whatever it is that if you have deja vu, that only means that it is Jesus in that moment. So that's telling you, and it's going to take you back to something in the past for good. It's taking you back into the past for good because it's trying to upgrade you for good. But it's time to start praying because when all that good comes, there are sometimes if you in the atmosphere of something evil, it will attract evil towards you. So stuff will start happening. Okay. But if this the good, stuff will start adding on to you as you take a step by step by step in your atmosphere. Okay, so I teach about the good and evil, and then it's the good of God. Okay, that's a different type of good. It's the good and evil, which is um, people and relying on people, or it's the good of God, and and going to our God for source. All right. So whichever you believe in, which is only one good, and that's the good of God. The good and evil side of us means nothing. There's no power there. So that's why I say I speak about the power of God over here. My channel used to be the power of God, but uh, I call it the freedom from the night now, because I'm taking you up out of the night and bring you into the light. Okay. So as I look on in my notes, welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome. Those who need to be focusing more than the other people, and you sit to the front. Okay, you sit to the front, and have the other ones that can focus very well. You sit in the back. Okay, you sit in the back. You take back seat right now. Okay, it ain't nobody better than anybody in this class. We all queens and lordships for our men. Okay, so let's get started on the dinosaurs. Okay, so I am going to do this, do this, going to do this, do this. Anyway, okay, so the dinosaurs. Uh, I remember. I'm taking it all the way back because I remember when I was a child, and I remember having all these dreams as a child. I remember having all these different visions coming to me as a child. I remember a lot of things coming my way as a child. Okay, I remember these things. So when I was a child, the major thing back in the day when I was a kid, uh, and in that season, in that moment, the major at that time were the uh high end technology back in the day was just man. Okay, I remember when I was a kid, and the high end technology was man. It was just man. His flesh. He it was always to conquer the flesh all the time back in the day. So the flesh was something, right? Okay. So that was the covering. The covering was flesh, and flesh ruled over everything. It ruled over what we did. And the Pandora box came out, okay, on this whole flesh thing. And then it was witnessed, it was everybody knew that the flesh was really wicked. Okay. It had some evil and wicked things coming from it. And out from it was just it's all kind of abomination to God. Okay. All things just came from it. Not our spirit, not our natural the nature of ourselves, but the flesh man that we were in. It just started acting up. It started doing a lot of stuff, getting in contact with a lot of people that wasn't right. It was like moms was trying to keep other kids from each other at this time. And then and then school came, and then we, before that, it was like homeschooling. But then when it started being school, it's like now we gotta interact with these other children. So then it was like, whoa, man, a whole dilemma started between children. And so now they gravitating to all the things of the world and what was in it. You had no choice but to eat of the good and evil, because in some people they wasn't serving God, and some people they were. So you had to deal with this stuff as a child. And then and then every child just started following behind the flesh of whoever whoever had the good and evil flesh the most. That was the most powerful person ever. That was the God of it all. That person just was and is to come. Like we was just so fearful. We were so afraid at that time. And it was unbelievable, you know? It was unbelievable how much fear we had as we grew up and we realized that as kids we didn't have that much control over what was going on like we thought we did. Because when we was kids, everybody was like, "Oh, they're so cute, they do cutie pie, little little." And then when we grew up to really recognize things, we realized that flesh was wicked. Okay, we really began to realize how wicked flesh was. And then the Pandora box came out the bag with everything, and with everything we knew that flesh wasn't right. Something was going on with flesh. But some people who were still operating in flesh still was, was still operating in flesh. They were still doing fleshly things. But our spirit was just succumbing to so much stuff. Okay. As we got older, and then stuff started happening. We started getting hurt. We started receiving this hurt, that hurt. Love just left us over time. We weren't even able to really love. So how far back you've been dealt with is how much love you gonna give. But that's why it's almost like you gotta break free from all that stuff that flesh has taught us, because our real self is spiritual. It's spirit, you know. And we went through a lot. We went through so much as children. And we can't even blame our mom and dad because they went through it with us. Okay. And some of them knew what they was doing. Everybody know what they was doing. But when they got with other people, they just put too much trust in flesh. Flesh was the dinosaur of our back then. Shucks. Okay, so yes, that is what we were used to. We were used to flesh being the the dinosaurs of of America back in the day. And and a lot of times, but see, the children nowadays have grown up. They are adults now, and they teaching their children how to come up against flesh. So now they have to um they have to bring more to put fear in these children nowadays. Okay, so they have upgraded the dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs now, the higher ups over us, because that's what dinosaurs are. Dinosaurs are higher ups over us. So the higher ups that are over us now is technology itself, just technology. Okay. Back then it was flesh. Flesh was the old covering of us. Now it's technology. They use anything to put our flesh and our spirit behind it. So now it's just not the spirit behind the flesh. Now it's spirit flesh behind technology. Okay, so they have upgraded and begun to use us in however we do things in fear, which is the good and evil, and put all that which they stir you up to be in the good and evil, and they know that you're not supposed to have your foot in both sides because they know that you can't serve two masters. But being that a lot of people serve the good and evil and not the good all by itself, because God is God alone, it says. So the good is good alone. But the people on this side, on the evil, they serve the good and evil. And what happens? The Bible law says that evil will corrupt the good. So they know that, and that's why they know that you'll be just like God. They know you'd be just like God because you eating what Eve was told not to eat of, the fruit of that tree of good and evil. Okay, it good or evil doesn't matter. It's still not the good that's we need. That's over on this side here. Okay, it's still not the good all by itself. The good and evil is of the tree of the good and evil, and that side of us. And we know like God. Like we gods. Okay, we became this by eating of that, which is why God said that we are gods. He didn't mean it like it was a good thing. I don't even know why people even saying it's like that's a good thing. He didn't even mean it like a good thing. He meant that like we ate of the tree, Eve ate of that tree of good and evil, and you heard what that snake said. You'll be knowing just like God. You'll be God. Okay, so once they ate of that, they became God, and so that's why when they walk around, that's why it was said to that they were gods. But that didn't mean that that was a good thing, people. And we teaching our children this stuff. It didn't say that as we became gods like God, over God, that that was a good thing. If you really read it step from step, it just basically said from when Eve ate of that tree and it said you will be known just like God, you will be God. All right? From that was evil. And then we walked in that as though we were gods. That's why God said that He said that Lord over lords and gods over gods. Because it's many of us due to the fact that Eve ate off that tree. It's so many gods out here. And that's to say that we ate off the tree of good and evil, meaning we know good and evil. And so a lot of us, some of us who refuse to just rely on the good, we rely on the good and evil. Okay? And that good is not the good of God. That good is just the good of the world. It's still some bad stuff in that good. Okay? It's still some bad stuff in that good. There's not no good stuff in that good. That's not the good of God. That's a different type of good. That's why God says in the Bible that it don't matter if it's good or evil. It don't matter. And people always talking about that too. Oh, God said it don't matter if it's good or evil. Yeah, he talking about not his side. He talking about y'all side, okay? Which is the side that you serve the most, which is the good and evil, the God that y'all took of and ate of off that fruit of that tree, making you gods, which is not a good thing. It never was a good thing. People really, y'all really got to listen. You really got to read. You really got to understand. From the beginning of Genesis to the end of Revelation, you really got to get this because it never said that being a God was a good thing. It's not a good thing. It was a very bad thing, whether good or bad, which is still good and evil. He was talking about that other side because it wasn't him. So he was distancing himself from that good and evil because he's the good all by himself. He's a different type of good. So he was talking about the good and evil, like it doesn't matter if it's good or evil because it was you. Okay, it wasn't him. He know it matters if it's his good, but he said he's saying that it don't matter if it's your good because you carry the good and evil like you are gods, and those gods is what took over the earth and made havoc out on the earth, and then they worship other people, other men just like them, their kind with their kind, and God's kind with his kind. Yes, that separated the people. You understand? From believers to unbelievers. And that's what it boiled down to. Believers and unbelievers. Okay? Or should I say unbelievers and believers? Because God on this side by himself. But then you got this side over here with the good and evil. That good is still evil. That evil will corrupt that good. If it's saying that evil will corrupt the good of God, then it would be contradicting itself, wouldn't it? So it's not talking about the good of God. It's talking about evil corrupting good, the good inside of the evil and good, the fruit of the tree of good and evil from flesh to flesh, good and evil. That's what that's talking about. Okay? All right now. I'm telling y'all some good stuff teaching in this class. Listen up now, listen up. So, as a kid, growing up, having all them dreams about those dinosaurs because flesh was taking over at that time and corrupting the nation, corrupting all children, forcing them into doing things they weren't supposed to do amongst each other. And these kids just running around, running amok in the mud, in the dirt of their flesh, just doing whatever they please, just having fun, enjoying themselves in fleshly matters. Don't know the ends of this stuff. There is an end to these things. Okay? So that was passed down from man to man. But the new dinosaurs of today is new dinosaurs today is past past it's past man. Technology has taken over man now without them even knowing it. The dinosaurs are what you rely on the most, and that is technology. You rely on this because you fear it, just like you feared flesh at one point in time in your life. And some of you all still do, but some of you all will fight the flesh, and you will keep fighting stuff, and then the enemy will know you basically telling the enemy what it needs to know, and then it'll upgrade more and more as you keep trying to fight the flesh. Yeah. So the more you fight, the more the enemy knows. Okay? That's anybody. That's anything. If you fighting over a particular thing, that person gonna know. They're not gonna tell you that they know. But the more you fight over it, it doesn't mean that you bringing forth the good thing. You bringing forth the evil thing, and the evil is gonna override all of what it is. Okay? All right. So the the technology is what you begin to rely on because you fear it. But at first, the flesh was fearful. Now people is fighting against flesh. They going off on their mamas. They going off on their fathers. They going off on their grandma. They hitting adults. They hitting authority. They going out here just running amok over an authority, not not speaking in the way they should with their authority in the good over here by itself, which is God, not us gods, which we didn't want to be. It was just that Eve ate off that tree of good and evil, making us gods. Now that is not good. That's our evil side. That's known as our evil side. No matter if it's got a little touch of good in there, that's still evil side versus the good of God. You get what I'm saying? Okay, let's keep going. So this amount of fear, it this amount of fear is what we relied on, right? Because whatever you fear becomes what you rely on the most. It's a giant to us, and it is with evil, like I said, and how they twist around the words in the Bible to say it how they interpret it, right? Which is what I said already. They say how we are to join our enemy, be on their side, to learn their ways and their tricks and stuff. Also, the government rely on this as well, which was taught to most majority of us. Booting out our grandmas out of the way, making our household um, run amok. So over time, it just took form, and then this is what it is, the endings of what had happened. And so, also the government rely on this as well. And we think that this will help us, but it won't. It won't. It just causes more dangerous levels, which is what the dinosaurs are. They are dangerous levels higher up, dangerous levels of eating on of the flesh. Okay. So we are in more and more higher up dangerous levels of eating on of the flesh every single day. So it raises up over us, these dinosaurs, in eating on of our flesh every single day. These are the dinosaurs. Okay. First it was flesh. Now it's something over flesh to cover us instead of the glory of God. Now it's the glory of what flesh has brought down from ancestor to ancestors to us, the good and evil. I got something to say about that too, but let me continue to read on. Okay, let me t- let me continue to read on here. I'm getting ahead of myself. Hold on. Okay, and this is to the end of us, like I already said, which is why everything needs us to be behind it. So it will put the scare out on us to put us behind it more and more in order for it to be put to work, right? So we are behind more of the robot. We thought the flesh was the robot. They numbed the flesh down to where now technology is the robot. Technology itself is taking over. There's no need to use the flesh anymore for the technology because now they have expanded technology from the flesh. They have copied everything that's on the flesh onto this technology now. The enemy has gotten smart and they have upgraded on technology more than the flesh because they know the flesh won't, you have little troubles with the flesh. It's kind of iffy, but having the flesh behind the new technology, oh yeah, they got us. Yeah, and I remember this long time ago how they used to say that they was finna start upgrading. They said this long time ago that they was finna start upgrading and start having technology to take over. And you don't even know. Technology is already taking over. It taking over flesh. It causing fear in us to upgrade into these into these technology type things. So when we get behind them, accidents can happen on the road or we can just do things with mighty things. We over all of the things that we ever used before in life. That's why you're getting more accidents happening out here in the world because those things are the dinosaurs in which all they needed us to do was to be more fearful. And how do we show fear? By fighting the enemy, flesh upon flesh, and that lets the enemy know what to use. And so now they see the stuff, and so now technology, and they notice that technology is the reason behind everything. And so they use that very dinosaur to conquer us, to eat the flesh up. So that's why it's a lot more deaths in car accidents. It's a lot more deaths in a lot of more people in going to the hospitals nowadays because of eating certain things that they think don't have this in it or don't have that in it, but they put more stuff into the food which has nothing of nutrients value to it. So it's less and less. Okay. Yeah. Accidents. That's why a lot of accidents happening, but not with God's children. Okay. but not with God's children. So let me keep going where I leave off at. So that puts us at technology, and technology has become the greater in treasures. In treasure. Yeah. All because of the forefathers, all because our ancestors, and all the good and evil, that wickedness that they lived in, the sin that they helped create versus relying on the good by itself, thinking that we're gods, and we're not. That was something done out of evil, and now we think that's good. The longer you read, and that's why it's not good to just read the Bible in the middle of the Bible. You got to read that whole sucker. Read it out because it tells you what happened. Okay. All right. So this became the greater in treasure. Technology is the greater in treasure. Like you making money on technology itself. And it became greater in treasure to us. They gave away a lot of technology for free. Everything now you can get technology for a little or nothing now. And it's a reason for that. You getting this new technology for nothing because it's pushed out here. It's an agenda. It has become our treasure. And so where our treasure is, that's where we lay. Some of us. Okay. Which is why I say everybody give homage to our ancestors a lot. But before long, it will upgrade from them to more man-made stuff. So it would be from man, which we was fearful of man. Now we're gonna be fearful of man-made stuff. So now the stuff are gonna be more relied upon. Those are the treasure. That is where the treasure lies. And so in that stuff, now we're going to give homage to the stuff now. Over time, we're gonna give homage to the stuff. And that's for the people who believe in man more than God. Understand? So in the field of technology, and man still will be saying with their mouth how we give homage to our ancestors, but will with their body giving all investment to machines. Yes, they will give all investments of their body as long as this world keep on making you angry, making you upset, making you feel like I want this, whining over this in the world. Oh man, why they get a chance to have more than one wife and I don't? Oh man, why do they get a chance to have all these men and I don't? Whatever you know what I'm saying? We are investing more and more in materialistic stuff. So the materialistic stuff over flesh. Flesh was a material thing at first, but now it's technology. Technology wins now over flesh, and it causing us to give homage to this technology, and we are giving all investment to machines, and no more of man, just the man-made stuff, them and their stuff. Okay. So it's move on from man to the man-made stuff. At first, it wasn't all like that. You did get still some people that it didn't care too much about getting a car or having this stuff and having that stuff and making it be the top priority. Now you're getting a lot of entrepreneurs out here that's that's basically getting over by charging $9,000 investment for their their stuff based off the technology prices. $9,000 just for a consultation, or or 10 grand just for teaching based on technology. Like we getting
ridiculous here. All because of technology is the it thing. That's the dinosaur now. It went from man being dinosaur now to technology being dinosaur. These are the dinosaurs. Yeah, dinosaurs still exist and they are upgrading more and more. You understand? They're upgrading more and more. These dinosaurs are eating of our own of these fleshly things and overturning flesh, ripping them apart. The very things we put our treasures in, we invest ourselves in. The very things are trashing us. And this is not what God said when He said everything else would be added on to you. Because He didn't, look, no. Some of you all ain't even supposed to have this stuff, but you got it. You weren't supposed to have it yet. You're supposed to put in the work of good God, not good you God. Which you got good and evil inside of you. God just got the good. And he come down to he come down to bring the sword. That's why he come down to bring the sword. Because y'all don't know yourselves. Not no more. Don't know yourselves no more. You out here just running amok. Understand me? And so as I go on in my notes, we have invested in machines and no more of man. Moving from man to machines. Okay. And as I remember as a kid, cartoons went from man cartoons to machine cartoons. So look, technology began to take over completely and utterly now. They had the cartoons when I was a kid, but now it ain't no cartoons no more about this. It's some real stuff. See, the superheroes was out before the machine cartoons start coming out. Yeah, remember that? The superheroes. The superheroes represented the flesh. The flesh was always trying to do stuff. Now you got the superheroes out of bound, and then you start seeing the machines coming out. I remember Bicentennial Man came out. That's when I knew. I was like, whoa, they upgrading flesh. Because that man he became real. And even in our cartoons as kids, those machines came real. They couldn't wait to make it be. It took years for this to happen. And now it is there. This this metaverse and all that. Oh my God, that's supposed to be for supernatural purposes only. Now they playing around through this metaverse. They playing around. That's supposed to be the Holy Ghost. You playing around with the Holy Ghost now? To where now our kids don't even know, they won't even know who the Holy Ghost is. Because they'll be tormented by the metaverse every night. Because there is no holiness in that. They'll be tormented by the evil that they're investing in. So now you making us invest our flesh in stuff that we ain't supposed to be investing our flesh in. What a, I don't even know what to say. What is really going on? But we unaware though. The technology has already taken over. And then the metaverse is our Holy Ghost. That's what the metaverse is. The metaverse is our Holy Ghost. Hmm. Yes. But nobody knows. Nobody knows the truth. Okay. So let me go back to what I was saying. I remember people saying with their mouths how can machines take over? I remember this. Yeah. They used to always say that. How can machines take over? They trying to make it to where machines take over us. Yeah, well, first they put you in fear during the coronavirus. They upgraded you in fear and put machines on lower levels, and you was able to get these things. You was able to ride in nice fancy cars for cheap while during this time you was able to get the little money, the extra money. You was able to do all this different stuff. Now all those things, people will want more of it because it came to us for free. Now it's getting caught up, and now it's like now we want it more. We're gonna want it more now. We're gonna want for machines. We're gonna want for money. We're gonna want for more of a lot of things. It's gonna be less and less children, more and more machine-like things. Okay, it's gonna be less and less children, more and more money made. It's still some people that still rely on making more children for more money, but now technology. Mm-mm. Kids nowadays are not having children, not like they used to. It ain't no love there for the children no more. It's something. But machines are they didn't know how machines were gonna take over. Let me get back to what I was saying. We have the power. It can't do anything without us. That's number one. Okay. The machine can't do anything without us. They already have taken over your mindset because it put you in fear in your mind, and when it made everything cheap, okay, when it made everything cheap for you to be able to get it, and you was able to get it, oh, it cried y'all down for a little while, but then it took it away from, it basically took it away from you all. So now you got to pay back all taxes. You got to pay back everything that was taken from that little moment. So it gave it to you just like a spoiled brat, a spoiled kid, and then it took it all away from you by saying that, oh, now you have to pay all this money back, you have to do this, you have to do that. And we now slowly they're gonna raise the money amounts up on this stuff slowly because they taking away from us slowly. And they've been doing this, playing with us. They was playing with flesh, but now technology is being played with, and we don't even know that that stuff that we wanted, and they taking it away. They playing with technology now. Whatever it is that they gave to us easily, and then they start taking it away. That's what they're playing with. At first, they was trying this little thing out with kids, but they realized that that wasn't no real investment. So they ain't really doing too much with that. Too much, okay? Because most people now not having that many kids. So they know they can't make nothing off of no treasures through that. So they using technology. Technology is the number one dinosaur, okay, in the world. So when you get behind the wheels of any machine made by men, our ancestors who passed this stuff on down, and we getting the ends of it by doing what they did, and what they have created through the eating on of good and evil of that tree, and not the good all by itself. This brings me to a lot of people saying we need to pick, we need to vote so that we can get some good out of the evil. Do that really make any sense? We need to vote. We gotta vote. We go back hard, back so long ago when our ancestors and all them went to was slaves. They were slaves. And then we get the sorrowful moments where they use technology to play little movies back when our ancestors were slaves and stuff, and so we get the feeling all mad and stuff, and that puts us in our fear as well. And so that means that now you become easier to serve man. Because you're not supposed to have pity out for anything. Because how can you make the right move if you haven't pity out for stuff? Not to have pity for anything. It states it in the Bible. You are not to have pity out for anything. Because if you do, that very thing you're gonna fear when it comes over you. Why you think people are mad because people killing kids and on the news they got all this horrified things going on. We already know that the world is cold. We already know the world is cruel. We already know the world is ill. We already know this is the end time. We already know. So for people to know and then to turn around and still act like you know it all, and which I always say that, to still turn around and act like you know it all, you know better. Why know better but still turn around and act like you know it all? And then operate in the know it all, meaning that you fighting everybody that got something to say to you about what you want. Because you know it all. But that very person is trying to let you know that you know better. And you know better, but you ain't paying attention to that one person that's in the good of God. You're not paying attention to that person. You're paying attention to the people that's sitting up here that I had a dream today about, which is one of our well known preachers who out here start with a T and with a J and got a D in there. T and a D and a J. Okay. So he out here, I'm seeing in the spiritual realm, he preaching, and then he start preaching about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with what he preaching about. It's almost like he went from preaching, then he went off into his flesh and started preaching about what he wanted to get off his flesh and put it on to us in a sneaky, conniving way. Cunning. He was being very cunning with him being a preacher. And he started saying this stuff to others in his congregation, which he's a well-known preacher on the TV. And it started with a T and a D and a J. Uh-huh. TD, you know who it is. You know what I'm talking about. But he was preaching about his own wife and how he wanted to start moving in his flesh because in reality he wants to get away from his wife. He wants to move in his flesh and do what he want to do in his flesh now. He's not satisfied with his wife no more. And it's starting to come out now. It's starting to come out from him. It was already in there. But now, being that technology rules and you able to go online through technology, call up some type of woman, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Technology rules. That's the new dinosaur. It rules over us. It's the treasures in which we invest ourselves in. It's the new treasures. It's the treasures of the world. And you know how God is over his treasures. You can't do that. You can't put those treasures over God's treasures. Our ancestors, whatever. You better serve Jesus in what he served. Jesus is Lord over all technology, flesh, kids, all. Treasure is not in how many Walt Disneys that we can put into to the atmosphere to make kids do this and do that. No, it's not about that no more. We can just go right through technology and make that money or get that woman. Even on the phone, phones have upgraded, so we can go right on that. That's technology. That's technology. We can go right on that. Pick any woman we want, any man we want, anything we want. We can have it all. It's the dinosaurs for me. Yeah, y'all not understand. The dinosaurs taking over. They taking over. They have taken over. But let me finish this up with you. So then they go to saying how we need to vote because we need to get some good out of it. Ain't nothing good about evil and good, which I spoke already. Ain't nothing good about evil and good. Only just the good side of God, the good of God, not the good and evil of man. What you picking man for? We at any time we should be picking God because God is God alone. What we investing in other gods, which placed them as God when Eve and Adam ate of that tree, being like God. making them gods. What we investing in them gods for? They have been corrupting the world for so long and have caused night to lay upon the earth. Okay? So go ahead because our ancestors did this for us. Yeah, go vote. Yeah, da da da. Because this is what our ancestors did. We gotta give them they stuff back. They did this for no, what are you talking about? That's man on man stuff. That's the wrong wisdom. When will we begin to let go of the dinosaurs that have taken away our lives, ran us up out of our homes, torn the flesh without a care in the world, and start doing this for our God and his son Jesus, the truth? All material stuff is growing bigger and bigger over our heads, tearing us flesh from limb to limb to no control of anything, causing us to run in fear of even being behind these things. And the way we are behind technology in the first place due to our ancestors, this is the cause for God's children to let those who want to continue the fight of good and evil for their ancestors' sake, but to continue to serve that God. But let those who serve God of the good to get up out where you don't belong and do what the Father in heaven as well as on earth, who can take away the soul and the body up off of this earth, up out of this earth, tell you what to do in that moment of your finances, your family, your health, your land, and more material things with our spirit. Let him place it where it needs to be placed with our spirit, and he go on and live the life of our God. He's our government. The kingdom of God is our government that takes us and transforms us and renew us and restore us back to a place in which we are to be. Spirit will ride on, and then it will cover, and God's glory will cover us, and we will walk in that glory, and there's no pride in that. In God's glory, there's no pride in it, because we relying on the God that's the truth, the God of truth, and not a lie. Man on man stuff, man on man inventions, man on man authority. Can't rely on that. We sitting up here fighting man on man like principalities got rule over us. No, that's not our ruler. That's not our king. We don't adhere to these things. Those are the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs of the world. We have to let it go. And we gotta let God. I know you heard that saying before. Let it go. Let go and let God. And I pray that in Jesus' mighty name. May you all have a good day. Stay tuned for more, and I'll talk with you in a minute. Bye bye.